Well, hello there, my music lovers. I'm George from audiophile-heaven, and today we are reviewing the AIAIAI headphone. This is the TMA-2 studio headphone. So this is the studio version of their headphones. It is priced at $230, and this is basically made for studio and music listening. I found it to be more interesting for music listening. Those headphones are actually modular and they come disassembled. They don't come like this. This is the final product. You get everything in its little bag. I have taken photos for the full written review. I think that it is a cool way to package the headphones and show that you can exchange any single component if the need arises too. Now, the headphones are made to be plasticky. They are made of plastic, which means that they are extremely light and the cable is heavier than the entire headphone. They are so light and so comfortable. You can connect the cable on either of the jacks, which you find more comfortable, and they swing wildly in every direction. As you can see, there is a ton of movement. You can adjust them to your head size and shape. Despite all of that adjustment, the headphones are not the most comfortable out there. And the reason for this is the fact that the earpads are a bit small for my ears, so my ears barely have enough space inside the earpads, but the earpads are extremely soft, which actually attenuates the problem a bit, because with the earpads so soft, I actually have okay comfort in the end. If I'm squeezing too hard on the caps, I can hear a bit of squeaking, but that is something to be expected at this price point. The headband has soft padding on the inside, which helps a lot with the comfort, and they have just the right amount of clamping force. They aren't too clamped on my head, but they aren't very loose either. So they isolate you with about 15 decibels of passive noise isolation, which is excellent. At this price point, it is quite good. They are closed back. They leak very little compared to most headphones out there. They have these Alcantara earpads that I'm using right now. The Alcantara material is softer and is better for keeping them long periods of time on your head. I really wish that they made the earpads larger and thicker, but that is something to consider for a future release, guys. Bigger, larger, thicker earpads, they need to be bigger. The AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones are very portable. Now, the AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones, the studio version, is comfortable actually. If you have smaller ears, they will be more comfortable. They are very hard to drive, so this is not an easy to drive headphone. So for my smartphone, I can't really get a decent volume out of them, and I need a DAP. And even with a DAP like the AIAIAI and Futura SA180, I need to get to about 142 in the volume, so it's almost to the maximum on single-ended. I wish that they made those with a balanced cable. That would be quite useful, but they are made for studio, and most of studio equipment is single-ended. They come with a 3.5mm jack, but they come with an adapter to 6.3 because most studio equipment is in 6.3. I think that the whole marketing for studio is cool. On studio, you need a very resilient headphone, something that you can throw around, something that you can beat, and this is what the AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones are. Very well-made headphones, like those can really take a beating, like they will hold out to that. As you can see, this is absolutely normal. The earbuds are not very tightly fixated to the headband, and this is how they are. They have a very unique mechanism of adjusting the size. The maximum size is okay for my head. So if your head is considerably larger than mine, they may not be okay for you. Like this is the maximum size they can get to. And after this, they start to take themselves apart. The AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones are a studio headphone, at least judging from what the company is telling us. And even though they are marketed as such, I think that the sound is something slightly better than studio headphones. You see, most studio headphones tend to be either overly bright or very flat, which ends up sounding a bit boring for the average music listener. Those ones go for a signature that is way more similar to ATH M50 from Audio-Technica, and they sound better than the Audio-Technica ATH M50. M50 is a headphone that has a very narrow soundstage. It's like a keyhole soundstage. Everything comes from a single point. Everything is very crowded and very mashed up together. Compared to that, the TMA-2 studio headphones have a very natural soundstage. They have a much better instrument separation, much better air between the instruments, and they have a much better bass. I was a fan of the M50 series for their bass, but the TMA-2 studio headphones have much better bass. They have more impact, more depth, better reach, better explosion. Everything just sounds so much better in the bass. The bass of those is really bassed quality and almost quantity actually. They have a ton of bass. The bass and the treble are both uplifted, which means that they are a V-shaped headphone where the mid-range is slightly recessed, and that actually helps with that sensation of a wide soundstage and the deep soundstage too. They have a good amount of mid-bass too, so the sound is slightly warm, it is slightly colored by the bass, but it is not boomy and it is not distorted. There is no veil on the sound is very much clean and clear. I'm actually a big fan of the signature, of the sonic signature of the TMA-2 headphones. When putting them on my head, I feel like I'm putting something that is slightly uncomfortable because they are a bit small, at least the earpads for my ears, but when starting to play music through them, I actually start to feel really happy. Like when I actually play music, they just become so enjoyable, if you know what I mean. They are just an enjoyable pair of headphones and I really like that about them. They don't make a variant that has 2 cables. You are usually supposed to connect just one, but I should do an experiment where I connect 2. I don't really have a cable that looks like this though, because their cable is actually quite long after this point and this point is quite thin, so you can't really use any 3.5mm cables. You can twist the cable to secure it inside the headphones, so you can drag them by the cable if you want to. Since they are modular, if you break something, you can easily replace that. And all in all, I do think that they are great for studio, but I don't know if the sound is made for studio. The sound is quite dynamic, quite punchy and quite alive. With such a lively and alive sound, you don't usually go for studio, except if you are using AIAIAI M50 already. I mean, if you are using AIAIAI M50 already, you need an upgrade. Look at me, you really need an upgrade. And if you are going to upgrade to something, if you need a closed back headphone, and if you don't want to spend too much, go for the AIAIAI TMA-2 Studio. You will thank me. Trust me, you will thank me. The M50 is a great headphone. It is a horse of a headphone. You can beat that so much. You can work with it. You can do a ton of the M50. But those ones improve the sound in every single way. And I do think that having multiple versions of the driver that looks the same is a bad idea. Like the company has multiple variants of the same driver inside the same cup, but with very different sound. Like everything looks exactly the same on the exterior. Even if you see the thumbnail on the video, you'll think that is the same headphone that I reviewed a while ago. And it's not. The original AIAIAI TMA-2 that I reviewed a while ago had larger earpads, they were more comfortable and they had Bluetooth. This one doesn't have Bluetooth, it has slightly smaller cups and the sound is more detailed, more analytical, better with the resolution and better with the micro detail, which is interesting because it just looks the same. Like if I was the company, to help reviewers and to help customers, I would at least put like a white dot here or multiple white dots or any kind of branding that would allow users to know which version of the drivers they are using. Like that would be so useful for both customers and reviewers and for you to know which version you want to purchase. Like this is the S05 driver. This is the driver that sounds the best. And I've seen some negative reviews online about them because people were not using this driver, the current version of this driver. This is the driver that has the best resolution, best bass impact, best treble extension, best overall detail, and this is the version that you should be using, the S05 driver. If you are using any other driver, you'll have a much more mediocre experience because the original drivers were not made for audiophiles, they were made to be commercial, to have a more simple sound. And at the end of the day, if you want to get the best out of your AIAIAI headphone, you should go for the TMA-2 Studio headphones or at least go for this driver. As far as I know, you could get this driver with larger earpads, which should be cool. I don't know if you can actually replace the earpads. You can. Woo! This is so cool. I almost forgot. The earpad remove mechanism is so simple. It looks like this. It has 4 plastic joints. You can push it in and out. And you remember me telling you that there was a creaking sound inside them. It's just the earpads. You can replace those easily. The driver plate is really well made. Like this is one of those hard plastics that will never break on you. And this is the cool part about the AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones. You can beat them, you can take them anywhere, you can use them however you want. This is a very resistant plastic. The company also commits to be CO2 neutral, so they don't really make waste, they don't really pollute the environment while producing those headphones, which is quite cool of them. I really thank you for doing that. Everything should be okay, boys. Everything will be solved, everything will be going better. We'll get rid of Corona, we'll get rid of everything that is a discomfort to us, and we will all be happy. Trust me, everything will just be awesome. You just need to have a bit of patience. Now, if you had a bit of patience to see through the entire video, I hope you'll consider leaving a like on this video. Also press subscribe to audiophile-heaven. It helps me so much to have as many subscribers as possible. If you have a dime to spare, I have a PayPal link in the video description. Trust me, I need every single penny I can get, so even a single cent would help me. I thank you so much for watching. I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye.